Welcome back everyone to the Rivals of Ixalan full set review. We're now going through all of the white cards, and together to get through this is Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
Yeah, good. Brett, yourself?
Doing alright. So I love a bit of white cards, so let's see what Rivals has for us.
Yep.
And we're going to kick off with a Baffling End. When Baffling End enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls with CMC less than 3 or 3 or less. And when it leaves the battlefield, target opponent gets a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. That's a baffling card for sure.
Yes, that is a baffling card. What is going on there? Why a dinosaur? Is it something turning into a dinosaur or something? Or?
Well, I don't know. I am basically the dinosaur on that card. That's me right now. I do not know what is going on.
Fair enough. In terms of this card, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. You'll play it every time, so that's good.
2 mana to get rid of a 3 mana thing, it's fine. It's not getting rid of big things, so it's basically kind of like Smother or Reeve Soul. Let's see, you're sort of where you're looking at, which I think is good enough.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not likely to leave the battlefield.
No.
Realistically, your opponent has to really play around it, and I don't think they will. So yeah, it's fine. I'm playing it as decent removal.
Yeah, everyone wants 2 and 3 drops, so yeah.
And good job, Wizards, on confusing the hell out of us.
Yeah, you did it.
Alright, how about a vampire?
Bishop of Binding, 3 and a white for a 1/1 vampire cleric. When Bishop of Binding enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls until Bishop of Binding leaves the battlefield. Then whenever Bishop of Binding attacks, target vampire gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the power of the exiled card. This seems really powerful, but I've got problems with this.
Well, Chief Among which it's a 1/1.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that it's got 1 toughness. I don't really care about its power, but it's so easy to kill. You can never go into combat with this. I guess if you get a big guy, you can attack, but then you're risking them getting their big guy back.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the Wizards asking the question, how much do you want Fiend Hunter?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's
just a lot of things that deal 1 damage because of Enrage.
Yeah. I don't like it very much. I think I will probably play it, but I'm not going to pick it early. Like, in my white decks, this is still going to be removal most of the time. So
yeah,
and it gets rid of anything.
Yeah,
unconditional removal. So
it is powerful, but just be very cautious with this. It's not a windmill slam.
Yeah, and it's certainly not a I've exiled a 4/4, so I'm just going to attack, because your opponent drops a combat trick and suddenly you get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep going with Blazing Hope. It's a 1 mana instant. Exile target creature with power greater than or equal to your life total.
This is an interesting card. I don't think I've seen anything like this before.
They're really making us work for our removal. This, in white, this is a very interesting card, and on low life total this is amazing, on high life total this is useless.
Yeah, it's an interesting card, isn't it? So you got a 4-powered creature and you're on 12. You have to wait. You have to get hit down twice before you can kill the guy. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of this.
No, I think it's too conditional, and I think if you're against a really aggressive deck and you're in that black-white survive to the late game deck, this might get there so that you can survive against those really aggressive decks, but yeah, not loving it.
Yeah,
sideboard at best.
When do you bring it in though?
Against really aggressive red-white decks or something like red-green decks, which are going to hit you hard early and then have giant things to finish off.
Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe.
So like,
yeah.
1 mana to get rid of a big thing when you're on low life total is going to be really saving. But yeah, you're very hopeful, no doubt, on this one.
Yeah, blazing hopeful. This is a good sideboard card. Cleansing Ray. 1 and a white for a sorcery. Choose 1. Destroy target vampire or destroy target enchantment. Yeah, I like this obviously against vampires, but also because of the rare enchantment cycle, I'm going to like having this in my sideboard.
Yeah, really good for those rare enchantments. Also, just it's good against white because we've seen an enchantment that you want to get rid of, which is removal. We've seen a vampire that you want to get rid of, which is removal. This takes care of both of them. So Cleansing Ray is a cool sideboard card for sure.
Yeah, I like it.
Divine Verdict is back. It's a 4-mana instant. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature, which is, yeah, good removal.
Yeah, it's good that it's not sacrifice. You pick what you want and it's gone.
Yeah.
No conditions. I like that a lot better than all the other stuff we've gotten recently.
Yeah, so I will definitely play this in my white deck as my removal.
Yep.
Right.
Everdrawn Champion. 1 white for a 2/2 human soldier. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to it. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt. Wow. That's really powerful.
3 mana can't be killed in combat. There's basically infinite toughness in combat, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, I like that card a lot. You can just throw this in and... Yeah, wow, this is a really good card.
Well, it's not even on attacks. Like, you can throw it in against any X2s, and it doesn't matter, because it'll kill anything with 2 toughness. But it also blocks everything.
Yeah.
So it just sits as a gigantic wall. So if,
Like
if the opponent doesn't have... Yeah, like exactly, Fogbank. So, awesome card. I think I definitely want to play this in any white deck.
Yeah, this is a high pick, I think. Really good.
Sweet card. Next we have the Exultant Sky Marcher. This is a 3-mana flying 2/3. 1 white, so a little bit hard to cast. You need that double white, but if you're in a heavy white deck, this is a really nice flyer.
Yeah, I agree. I think I kind of like this card. Not that it's anything special, but it just sort of... I don't know, it feels good. The double white for a 2/3 for 3 mana, I don't know. I just like it. I like the design of the card. I think it's really good.
Yeah, no, it's a strong card. The fact that 3 toughness means it comes down on turn 3 and blocks bears. So that's I think really important. It's better than a Windrake. It's harder to cast, but it's a very powerful card. So.
Yeah, I like it. You're in white, play it.
Next is the Famished Paladin. So this one's a little bit tricky to work around. It's a 2-mana 3/3, 1 and a white for a 3/3. So it has to have a downside, right? Doesn't untap during your untap step, which is pretty big downside. But it does untap whenever you gain life.
That's not enough. Not for me. Depends how many life gain things you've got going on, but I'm generally speaking not going to be happy with this.
Yeah, no. This is definitely a vampires card. Vampires have ways to gain life, but if you don't have a lot of them, this is not good enough.
Put a Mark of the Vampire on this.
Yeah, yeah. 5 mana gaining life. 5/5 gaining life every turn. Yeah.
And it effectively has vigilance.
Alright, what about this one?
Forerunner of the Legion, 2 and a white for a 2/2 Vampire Knight at uncommon. And when Forerunner of the Legion enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a vampire card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. Whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So I believe there's a cycle of this. It obviously depends how many vampires you have in your deck, and you need the buffs to be worth it. I mean, you're really looking at each stage of this card. I'm not a big fan of this one.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be an early pick for me. I mean, if you are in the vampire deck, it's probably worth it, because you can sometimes put multiple vampires into play at the same time, and each one of them is going to trigger separately. So that buff may happen more than once a turn. Even so, 3 mana 2/2 is not good. The putting it on top of your library so it doesn't actually draw a card, just sets your next draw. It's fine, but in the it's fine in a vampire deck, and it's bad everywhere else.
Yeah, and if you, I guess if you've got that, mythic vampire, sure, chuck it in and be happy. But otherwise, I wouldn't.
Alright, let's keep going to the Imperial Ceratops. This is a big dinosaur, 4 and a white for an uncommon. When it enrages, you gain 2 life, and it's 3/5.
This is what I'm saying, like, enrage, like, the abilities just, they seem really minor and not that important.
Yeah.
so you never really want to play for them.
I mean, this one has a big butt, so it's the kind of card that can be enraged multiple times and through combat.
Yeah.
But it's not a big enough enrage effect that you're going to care.
Exactly. Yeah. So
There's
it's nice to have, but meh. Ultimately.
So
I've seen this guy.
Yeah, we've seen this guy before. So this one is reprinted from Ixalan, so just the set before. It's a 3-mana 2/2 Legion Conquistador, and it has the... What have I blanked on? What is it?
Squadron Hawk?
Squadron Hawk, thank you. Can't believe I've got that. Squadron Hawk effect, where you can go and search for any amount of these. And this is the one reprint, because there's multiple of them, that I will forgive WotC for, because that's the kind of card you need to be able to draft across 3 packs for it to be relevant.
Yeah.
So the fact they put it in here is cool, and it's a good idea.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Especially being a small set, you'll probably have a chance to get more of these. So it might actually make it better, especially if the format slows down a little bit.
Yeah, and for those who are maybe not familiar with that idea, the small set, the reason that's important is because you're drafting the same amount of cards, but there are fewer commons in total. So you see more of the same copies of a common than you would in a big set. There's less variety.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully you can get a few of these, and card advantage. 3 mana, play this, draw 2 or 3 cards. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Even if they're just 2/2s.
So Legion Conquistador.
I'm not picking it highly.
Just draft them all. Everyone you see, just go all in.
Do it.
Yeah. Get 10 of them if you can.
Yeah, and screenshot them for us. I want to see that.
Yeah. All right. So moving on.
Luminous Bonds, 2 and a white for an aura, which is just pacifism, which means target enchanted creature can't attack or block. Why not just print pacifism? Is it too good now?
I'm guessing it's too good. I mean, 1 and a white for pacifism is apparently too good. We haven't seen that for many, many sets now. It's always been 3 mana, but it's always been 3 mana plus something.
Yeah.
So now they're just going, how much do you want pacifism? Because now it's just 3 mana for pacifism.
Well, I still really want pacifism, so I'm going to take it.
We're still playing. It's still the best removal that white has to offer so far.
Yeah, this could be the best white common.
We have a Majestic Helioteris.
Well done.
I'm pretty sure the P is silent. 4 mana for a flying 2/2, and when it attacks, it jumps on the dude. And we've seen these effects before. Usually it's any creature that gets jumped. In this case, it's only a dinosaur that can be given flying.
Yeah.
But that's still fine if you're a dinosaur deck.
I'd want at least 3 or 4 big dinosaurs before I'm playing this card, because it is just a 4 mana 2/2 otherwise, which isn't a good rate.
No, 4 mana
Doesn't
2/2
block.
flyer is just barely playable. I would say just barely playable.
Yeah,
4 mana
barely.
2/2 flyer. You don't like having it, but it's sort of like a D. It'll fill in your space.
Yeah, but it becomes really good if you do have some big green dinosaurs in your deck. So I'm not writing it off, but it's not a high pick for me.
No, you want to be in the dinosaur deck, this one.
Yep.
Alright. Next up.
Arter of Dusk. 1 and a white for a 2/1 vampire soldier, and when it dies, create a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. This is a really good card.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to help you get to your Ascend because it keeps permanence in play.
Yep.
Replaces itself.
Replaces itself. It's cheap. Yeah, this is a really good common for white.
I mean, like a Piker, a 2 mana 2/1 is just a playable sort of card. It's fine as a 2. You'd rather have 2 toughness, but the fact that you get an extra power and toughness afterwards isn't too bad.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Card advantage.
Next is the Moment of Triumph. This is a 1 mana combat trick where target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you gain 2 life. So you play this with your Famished Vampire to untap your 3/3 and make it a 5/5.
Yeah, this is a good card, and I hate it that it's a good card. Just because it's cards like this that make the aggressive decks really good, and it makes it harder to play slower decks. Because blocking just becomes really hard when you're up against something like this. It's so cheap that they can just play it and then play another relevant card the same turn. So don't get me wrong, I'm sad because this is really good.
Yeah.
This is a good card.
And I don't know, it's also good on the other side, because if you're in that black-white slow deck that you want to build, you can keep this up really easily on your blockers. So you play your wall, you block, you gain a couple of life, you kill off one of their things. It can work on the other side.
It's not as good on the other side though, because you usually don't get the benefits of just pumping for the win, you know. You have to have a... It doesn't suit your game plan of getting to a long game as much. But yeah, you're right that if you can bring this in maybe out of the board or something against an aggressive deck.
To be honest, if I'm in white, I'm pretty much just playing this card. I mean, the +2/+2
most of the time
is good. The incidental life gain is nice because there's a couple of triggers off of that, and just gaining 2 life when it doesn't cost you anything is good.
I just hate that it encourages aggression, and it really does. So, nah.
Well, you got to have an aggressive deck. You got to keep those control decks in check somehow.
No, you don't. Let them play against each other.
There's only 50 minutes on the timer, okay? Alright, so this is...
every second of those 50 minutes.
This is a Paladin of Atonement. This is 1 and a white for Vampire Knight. 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you lost life last turn, get a 1/1 counter on it. If it dies, gain life equal to its toughness.
What a weird card.
It's a weird card. It's if your opponent hits you, it gets bigger. If you can pay life for something, I don't think there's any pay life mechanics. Well, there's one, sorry. There's a black card that does it.
Yeah.
You can lose life on your turn. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. It seems like it should be good because in a race it seems like it'll get you there. But I don't know.
I'm going to come down firm on this one. I'm going to say it's a good card. I'm going to play it in my white decks just because it gets big, and if it does happen to die, you gain a bunch of life. So
it'll be really good if you can, again, as you were saying, control the life loss. If your opponent can just stop attacking you and that stops it doing anything, then I don't know how great that is.
Well, I remember there was one card I can clearly remember from the last set that paid life to do a thing, so either to fly or to get vigilance. That was that angel vampire thing.
Okay, yeah.
And there was also one card in this set that when it enters the battlefield, you lose 1 life and draw a card, which is quite good. It's a 2-mana 1/1 that does that.
That's the kind of stuff you're looking for, yeah.
If you can put those things together, I think this is going to be excellent, and just in general, I think it's an okay card.
Yeah. It's never going to be that bad.
Alright, next up.
Pride of Conquerors. 1 and a white for an instant with Ascend, and it gives creatures you control +1/+1 until end of turn, and if you have the City's Blessing, they get +2/+2 instead. Tokens, maybe there's a way with tokens you can get +2/+2 out of this. I'll have to see what the format's like. I can't make a call on this. I'm leaning towards it's not very good, but we'll have to see.
Without the Ascend, it can be okay in your aggressive decks.
Yeah, usually
so
it's not enough.
It's usually not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd rather a Trumpet Blast or something like that, which I think there's a Dinosaur Trumpet Blast in the set, maybe.
That's cool.
But, yeah, I think you just don't want this most of the time.
No, get out.
Alright, next is Radiant Destiny. What do we got here?
2 and a white for an enchantment with Ascend again. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1, and if you have the City's Blessing, they get Vigilance. This one I like a little bit better because the Vigilance doesn't matter as much, and it's just a static +1/+1. Yeah, I think if you're in any sort of go wide deck, this is really good.
Yeah, I think you have to be a little bit careful. This set is clearly tribal, but the fact that you definitely have to have most of your creatures in a tribe, so it has to be the creature type. So
sorry, you're right.
It's a
You're
tribal
right.
anthem. It's not just a straight up anthem.
Then no, I don't like it. You're never getting that many creatures of the same type unless you're doing like the tokens thing. With vampires or something, I think.
Vampires could be good with this. Pirates might be good with this because almost all of the Grixis coloured creatures are pirates, so you might be able to get away with it. But then again, Grixis isn't white, so yeah, I don't know. White has too many different creature types. It's got dinosaurs, it's got humans, it's got vampires. So.
Yeah, and dinosaurs don't really need this kind of buff. They just need to get to their late game.
Alright, I'm going to pass on Radiant Destiny.
Why is this here?
I don't know. This is
makes
the
me
reprint
mad.
that I don't like. This feels lazy. Maybe they just needed a 2-mana 3/1 dinosaur guy, and they're like, let's just print this one again.
Nah, I don't like this at all. You're right, it feels lazy.
If you
And
wanna
I'm
know
sure
about
they
this
thought
card-
about it.
If you want to know about this card, go watch our other review. It's a Raptor Companion.
It's fine.
Sanguine Glorifier is a 3 and a white for a 3/3, and when it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on another target vampire you control. Has to be
Fine.
another.
Yeah.
Vampires in white, good enough.
Yeah. It's fine. It's a comment. You'll play it if you've got vampires. If not, then you will be happy to leave it in your board if you can.
Alright, how about this?
Sky Marcher Aspirant. This is really cool art. I like this. White mana for a 2/1 vampire soldier. Alright, I'm in. Ascend on a 1-drop. Okay. When it has flying if you have the City's Blessing. So it's a 2/1 for 1, and that is usually good. So that's about it.
Yeah, 2 power, 1 mana is very good, so that's going to get some aggressive decks going. That could make standard if there's some white vampires. I mean, we already saw mono white vampires at the last Pro Tour. So
Yeah, for sure.
This is going to slot right in there.
Yeah. Don't get too caught up on the Ascend thing. It's a nice little bonus, but that's not... Most of the time, that's not going to be flying.
Not really important. Slaughter the Strong. I really like this card. This looks powerful. It's 1 white for a Wrath, where each player chooses any number of creatures he or she controls with total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all the other creatures he or she controls. So you and your opponent go, okay, count my power, I need 4 power, everything else is gone.
This is weird.
It is weird.
It could be really good or a real blank. I don't know. If they've got like a 2/2, like 2/2/2s, and you can't get rid of them. I don't know. You probably wouldn't use a Wrath then anyway, but...
I think for limited this is really awkward, and I'm probably not going to play it in my draft decks. But I think this could make some waves in standard, where basically you don't play a creature unless it has 3 power. So most of the time they're only going to get 1 creature left over from Slaughter the Strong.
Yeah.
So your white X control decks need a 3 mana Wrath.
Yes. Would this be good against energy, you think?
Yeah, I think it's still good against energy because they're playing their Cubs, which get big really quick. That's their 2/2, and they have the 3/2 energy guy that gets a card as well. I can't remember the name of it. I don't play energy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and our audience does.
And everything else is bigger. Again, they've got the Hydra that starts at 4. Yeah, they're only going to be left with probably 1 card if you play Slaughter the Strong.
Okay.
So,
all right.
at best.
I see where you're coming from.
So I think it's good for energy, it's good for Godfarer's Gift, because as they start building out, it's okay against Godfarer's Gift, because it's going to kill all of their embalmed, entombed things.
Is it better than any other option that we have in Standard, though, to just kill everything? Like, the only real upside to this is that you get to save something on your side, right?
No, the real upside to this is it only costs 3 mana. So you can keep up, you can wait until turn 5, turn 6, and keep up a counterspell for their follow-up play.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So that's the real benefit for a cheap Wrath. Yes, it leaves something on the board, but it's going to be a small thing. I think this is a good card, and you're going to see it in... If there's a blue-white control deck, this has got to be in it.
Okay, be cool. We'll see.
As limited, probably don't worry about it.
Not a fan of it in when it is.
Alright. Snubhorn Sentry.
What a weird name. 1 white mana for a 0/3 dinosaur, and it has Ascend. It gets +3/+0 as long as you... No, get out of here. This is garbage.
That's a 1 mana 3/3.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on turn 10.
Yeah, this is really weird. Unless you really need to block and you need a camel, then there you go.
No, get something else.
Sphinx's Decree.
1 and a white for a sorcery. Each opponent can't cast instant or sorcery spells during that player's next turn. This is never seen play ever, right?
This might be a constructed plant, but I can't see this being particularly useful almost anywhere. Like Silence is just so much better.
Yeah. No. Done. Squire's Devotion. 2 and a white for an aura. Enchant a creature. It gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. And then when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. This is interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is...
Auras are always difficult to evaluate because the potential for 2-for-1s is there. And there's some okay...
They used to be garbage. But...
They used to be useless. Now we have to think about it a bit more.
Yeah. I'm going to err on the side of this not being very good.
Well, it adds 2 permanents for your Ascend count.
That's true.
So, we're just doing the count. So it's itself plus the token plus the creature. That's 3 plus 3 mana to play it. That's 6. It's getting pretty close to 10. We're getting there. On turn
60% of the way.
3.
Sure. And then if your creature or the token doesn't die in combat or anything, you know, you'll get there eventually if you just never interact.
But turn 1, 2-1. Turn 2, play bear. Turn 3, play this.
Let's go
That's
back to
8.
Christmas Land.
We're getting there, we're getting there. By turn 4, you can activate City's Blessing, and then you're done.
Yay! Okay. Screenshot it for me. No, it's not happening.
It's fine. I think I will probably put this into some of my white decks, but it will get cut a lot.
It's just not a big buff. Like, I don't know. Put it on a flyer, maybe.
Yeah. Alright, Sun Sentinel. Good bear. Just bear with upside.
Yeah, I like that. Vigilance always seems to play a little bit better than it looks. Usually it's not that huge, but I like it. It's great for a common.
Really good with combat tricks because you just attack with your combat trick, and if they don't block, then you get to block and use your combat trick. So Sun Sentinel, really neat card. Very happy with that.
Yeah, very nice. Very colourful too. Speaking of colourful, Sun-Crested Pterodon. 4 and a white for a 2/5 dinosaur with flying, and it has vigilance as long as you control another dinosaur. This is kind of filler just because of the stats.
Yeah, 2 power is not enough.
Yeah. 5 toughness is big, especially in the air, but...
Yeah, if you have vigilance, it's okay, but no, I'm not happy with this.
No, filler. Temple Altasaur. 4 and a white for a 3/4 dinosaur, rare. If a source would deal damage to another dinosaur you control, prevent all but one of that damage.
Enrage triggers. You can enrage everything in combat now.
Yeah, alright. This is... No, I'm not happy about this.
By itself, 5 mana 3/4 without the dinosaur part is pretty bad. But if you are in a dinosaur deck, this is a bomb. You can't kill dinosaurs.
With damage.
With damage. You have to like shoot them with some kind of...
But I can kill this with
straight
damage.
up removal spell. Yeah, this just never attacks or blocks. This I will take that as an enchantment. In my dinosaur deck, my dinosaurs are all but unkillable in combat. How do you beat that in limited?
I think you kill it with like other things, like your pacifisms and your like. There's only so much. I don't know. I'm not. It costs 5 mana for. I wouldn't pay 5 mana for that enchantment. I don't think.
It's an enchantment with legs.
But that makes it easy to kill, like. And the stats aren't that good. I don't know. I could be wrong, and this could be really good in the dinosaur deck, but I don't think it's that great. It just costs too much.
Yeah. Look, I don't think this is something I'm going to first pick, but if I start picking up some dinosaurs, I definitely want this, and I will splash for this in my red-green dinosaur deck.
Yeah, I'd be happy if this was an uncommon. I think I'm just a bit harsher on it because it's a rare. Maybe I shouldn't look at it like that, but I don't know. I don't see it.
We'll see how we go, but I'm liking the Altasaur.
Sure.
Next is a Trapjaw Tyrant. This is a mythic dinosaur, 5 mana, 5/5 in white, and whenever it is dealt damage, exile target creature and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. So
Alright, I just want all the enraged stuff. Like anything that pings this thing I want, if I've got this in my deck.
Yeah, this is a pretty amazing one. It just keeps stealing your opponent's creatures. The problem is it starts to become a big pinata when if you can kill it, all of a sudden all the guys fall out of it again.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to not... Like, you're going to not kill their guys. Like, they're going to be there. Awesome. They're either going to be there or they're going to kill this and they're going to be there. Like,
oh, for sure. It's you know. But yeah, just got to be aware that you could suddenly become an army in a can for your opponent if they can get rid of it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, good advice from Quietly down the bottom there. Advise you not to struggle.
Yeah, just let it hit you for a couple of turns and try and race it or something. Yeah. Good card though. What is this? Zatalpa, Primal Dawn, 6 white for a 4/8 legendary creature Elder Dinosaur. So this is the white in the cycle of Elder Dinosaurs. There's one in every color, I believe. This one has Flying, Double Strike, Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible. Keyword Soup.
Yes. But it's 8 mana. 8 mana, 8/8. It's really hard to kill. But
I mean, it's 8 mana. I'll still probably try for this. If I get enough ramp stuff, I'll try for this.
For sure, and I think it all comes down to the format speed and what you're playing against. If you can cast an 8 mana spell, this is a good one to cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one.
It's going to win the game like within 2 turns, so yeah.
Yeah, very good. And being that's a Z, I'm pretty sure that is the end of our set for white. How do you like the look of white?
Yeah, I like some of the comments. I think it is a little bit slower. There are a couple of 2-drops that I like the look of, but I think overall it's a little bit slower, so that's good.
Yeah, a lot of interesting removal in there as well, so
yeah,
wait to see how that all goes.
Yep.
Alright, well, that's it for white cards. Join us back here for the blue cards coming up in just a minute.
Yep, see you then, guys.
Bye.